Very much, Hilary. I'm David Bradbury. I'm the headmaster at Portland Place School. We are very central. We are exactly where our name would lead you to believe in terms of the location. And we're a little bit different to most of the schools that have spoken to you tonight. We're co-ed. We actually only run, we go from age 10 to age 16. So we don't have a sixth form at Portland Place. We're part of the Alpha Plus group, and the Alpha Plus group has its own dedicated sixth form college at DLD. So our students have a preferential route into that college if they want to move on at that point. We're not academically selective in any way at our entry. So we have a whole range of students who have a whole variety of talents and interests, ranging from the very academically strong, who are really looking towards those Russell Group universities in the fullness of time, to other students who have a much more practical bent. And we know now that there are areas in technology and in some of the creative arts where they no longer look to recruit graduates, they look to apprentice students much earlier. And because we are a very small school, probably the smallest here as well, and that's a deliberate part of our design, we get to know our students extremely well, and we can work with them at what is success in their terms in the way they move on. What's their ambitions and what are they looking to achieve next? And we have a very strong both academic and pastoral support that gets them to understand and help them in those onward steps into whatever their next destinations are. I said we're very small. We have an absolute limit of 15 for our class sizes anywhere in the school, and most are smaller than that. We also work in some slightly different ways with our students as well. For a start, we are increasingly using technology, and we started on this path a long time before it became necessary for remote learning. All our students have an iPad to use as a tool in school, and very much as a tool to supplement their learning through that. And we also take a dyslexia-friendly approach to teaching, a quite explicit use of that method. We're not a specialist school anyway, we're very much a mainstream environment, but we do have a reasonable proportion of students who have mild to moderate dyslexia. So we've taken the decision to configure all our teaching around being dyslexia friendly and accessible to students with that need. And actually we find, and the research very much backs this up, is those techniques are very powerful in helping the progress of every student. I said we're not academically selective, but we do get great academic progress from our students because we can work with them in such a close way and a closely understood way. And the value added we get, the progress they make from when they join us to when they leave us at 16 is very high. It's in the highest percentiles of the country. In fact, our last results last summer put us in the top 5% of schools nationally for the progress our students make in the time that they're with us. We have a very full extracurricular life. We have an enrichment program we built into our timetable during the week of non-academic activities, just to give the students other experiences. This year that's included horse riding, Lego engineering, cookery, and various other activities. And that's in addition to a very rich and full extracurricular program anyway for our students to access. Like a couple of other schools that are very central in London, people often ask me about where's your outdoor space. Mine is Regent's Park. And we make very full use of Regent's Park and all its great facilities. We have good links with a very new and high-spec sports centre in Kensal Rise if we need the indoor part of it. And not to be remotely competitive with Queen's College, but my head of PE is a former multiple World Highland Games champion. I think the next thing I want to do is just to share my screen very briefly. I've only got the one slide to share with you this evening, but just to show you about a few ideas or a few facts about getting in touch with us. On the screen properly, hopefully you can see that now. Yeah. So if you don't want to contact us, my registration or registrar is actually Wild, and the contact details are there for Portland Place. Our website, again, will give you a very thorough understanding of us as a school. We have virtual tours on there you can look at, guided by me around the school. We've also got numerous examples of shows and productions, because creative arts are a big part of life here at Portland Place. We haven't yet published our open event dates. We will do that early in the summer term because we are waiting to see how the various releases from lockdown happen and make sure that everything happens on time as the government's roadmap has stated, and we will then finalise our dates. But we are open now for private tours. So if you want to come and visit us individually as families, you'll be very, very welcome. The only other thing I would add at the moment as well is from our experience during the last pandemic over the lockdown periods, we did find that there was a certain population and certain demand for people to work in that way, and some students who found working online as a benefit and a better way of them working. So what we have launched this year is also our hybrid school model. The main day school, full 5-day attendance remains the main route for the vast majority of students, but we do now have students who work in a way where they are 4 days a week working remotely at home, and 1 day a week where they come into school, and that day in school is based on more practical activities like the sport, like the drama, like the music, like the science practical work. So we do have that model of entry on offer as well. We call it our hybrid school. And please do feel free to talk to us about that if that's something that you are also interested in. And I think I'm going to keep it quite short and sweet at that point. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. And I look forward to welcoming you to Portland Place in due course. Thank you.